Hello everyone, how are you today? Good, I hope. Today, I will be drawing a moon man. I wish I had recorded the pencil sketch of this guy, but I did not. I don't remember why. I feel like I may have, and the footage was either misplaced or I simply forgot to entirely and I'm misremembering. Who really knows? What does it really matter, you know? I drew this to be on a tarot card, actually. For a long time now, I've kind of had this idea of making a tarot deck of my own, and it seemed like this Christmas season was the perfect time to bring that to fruition. My older sister, is a big, I don't know about believer, I guess, in tarot cards and their ability to predict the future, or at the very least, put you onto the right path, or give you some kind of clarity in life. And I figured this would be the perfect time to kill two birds with one stone. A, because I love my sister and wanted to make her a cool, personalized Christmas gift, to the best of my abilities at least. And B, get to make the tarot deck that I've had on my to-do list for well over a year and a half now. Now, say what you will about tarot. I mean, I don't know if I completely believe in it. I'd say tarot, for me, is more just an interesting pastime. It's interesting how it can take aspects of your life that are happening right now, and through the vagueness of the reading of the cards, because they are usually pretty generalized, you can get some kind of clarity, or maybe think about an event in a way that you wouldn't normally, or bring it to the forefront when it's been in the back of your mind for a while, and can kind of guide you in a little ways. I mean, in my opinion, that's the only power they have, is influence over what's already buried in your subconscious. Beyond that, I believe it's completely up to you to, fulfill whatever may be going on, but that's just personal preference more than anything. Something I do very much admire about them, though, is the design of them. I only have one tarot deck. I have the basic Rider-Waite tarot deck that everybody knows, and I like the illustrations on them. They're very interesting, very intricate. I'd imagine they're pen and watercolor of some kind. I don't know when that deck was drawn, but it's interesting. And it's weird when you tie it back into the fact that tarot cards are just playing cards that were modified to tell fortunes, or at least from what I understand, which is why you have suits the same way you would with playing cards, and why there are queens, and instead of jacks, I guess you get like knights and pages, but it's interesting nonetheless. Particular inspiration for this piece was the film Metropolis. I very much like the look of that movie. It kind of takes that retro futuristic aesthetic and mixes it with a bit of the occult. Kind of end up with some interesting imagery in that movie. I know I'm using big words here, like I know what I'm talking about. I don't. I've just seen Metropolis a few times and I really like that movie. I think it could be like top 10. If not top 10, maybe like, I don't know, top 20 at least. I don't know about top 10. I think in order to be like a top 10 movie, it has to be something I watch very often. And it's not one that I watch very often. I've seen it maybe 3 times. I want to say 2. I think I've seen it 3 times throughout my life. But every time I watch it, I'm just amazed at the level of ingenuity behind it. If you want to watch it, by the way, I mean, it's free. It's been around since, I want to say, has it been the 1910s? Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Metropolis movie release date 1927. The movie was released in 1927, so it's an old one. It's an oldie but a goodie, and I recommend it just for the looks of it alone. But that's it's a long, drawn-out way of saying that Metropolis is very much what inspired the look of this piece, I guess. I don't know. I like drawing helmets. I like drawing trench coats. And I had that kind of interest in Metropolis and the occult, I guess, with like tarot. Is tarot the occult? I don't actually know what the occult is. I think I'm just saying words. But I had an interest in all these things, and I thought I'd bring them together, because who doesn't like cool, weird helmets and stuff like that? I did do more cards for this. I finished it. There's 78 tarot cards, depending on what deck you go with. The Rider-Waite deck has 78 cards at least, and I did a design for all of them. And that's not to say that I did them all from scratch. A lot of them were repurposed art that I already had that were kind of perfect. And if not perfect, then fitting in, I guess, in more of like a feeling kind of a way. Like, I don't know, I'd have some abstract ones, I suppose, that aren't really distinguishable. Like, you get like, I don't know, page of sevens or whatever, and while I don't have something that looks like a page or has 7 items on it, I can use a card that relates to what the accepted meaning of it usually is and kind of go from there. At first I thought about doing a video where I showcased all of them, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this was a gift for my sister and not really for the audience, I suppose. So it's something that I'll leave to her. If she ever wanted to share it online, she could, and I would make sure to link that to you in the next appropriate video. But I think that it belongs to her for now, and unless she wants to share that, I'm not going to. For the cards that I did make, though, I think that one of my favorites ended up being this one for the star, which was one of the ones that was original for this, because I wanted to make sure that the trio, not really trio, but I wanted to make sure that the group of like the star, the moon, the sun, I want to say there's one more. Maybe there's not, maybe it is a trio. But anyways, I wanted to make sure that those ones were their own original designs for this. If I had had the time, I probably would have drawn original cards for everything, because this was a great time to just hunker down and draw things. And, you know, maybe I would have, but this year I made it my goal to create an item for everyone for Christmas. So instead of just buying something, not to say that buying something is wrong, I said that as if it is. It's not. I buy things for people almost every year, but this year I felt like I would try something challenging, and I'd make something for everyone. And I did. I made a lot of cool things. I made another custom action figure this year, actually, which was crazy because I really feel like I haven't done that in the longest time, or at least I can't think of the last time I did. And I made a Mr. Sinister for my dad because he's his favorite X-Men villain. So I made him a very cool Mr. Sinister with a big handmade cape where each little tassel of his cape was wired and armamented so that you could pose it around. And I know my dad doesn't really enjoy action figures in the way I do, but it was more inspired by the idea that he kind of had told me for a while, like, I should make a Mr. Sinister, not for him, but just because he thinks that I could do a kick-ass job at it. And not to toot my own horn, but I think I did do a pretty kick-ass job at it. Did everybody else have a good holiday season? I hope everybody else did well. Happy New Year's or Happy Hanukkah, you know, whatever it was for you. If you celebrate Christmas, if you don't, maybe you just stayed at home. Maybe you went out. You know, I hope that you had a good time regardless. I spent my Christmas at my family's house, and it was a good time. I got a new record player, which was amazing. My old record player was, I I don't know if it was just that it was a cheap brand or something else, but it seemed that my records were scratched because it would skip tracks, and it was really scaring me. But I got rid of it. I got a new one, and when I tried out my records, it turned out they weren't scratched, which was thankful for me because I have a lot of records. Okay, I figured out I have Discovery by Daft Punk on vinyl, and it's a fantastic album. It's got to be one of my favorite albums of all time. And my favorite track on that entire record is Face to Face. And it seemed like when I would use that record player, Face to Face was the only track that would skip. And I was so bummed out because I bought that record like brand new. Brand new Face to Face was skipping right out of the thing. And so I got a little curious when I tried out this new one to see what would happen, and it didn't skip. It turns out it was just the record player. So brand new record player, feel good. I got Cowboy Bebop, the original soundtrack on vinyl. I got the special edition, which had like a paint splatter kind of effect in it. And that's been fantastic. But I was also gifted a few records with my record player, right? I got America's Greatest Hits. I love America. The band, I'm talking about the band in this instance. Their music is wonderful. Songs like Tin Man are just like some of the most cheerful things I think I've ever heard. And it really, just their music in general brings me out of a funk like nothing else can. I got that. I got 4 by Foreigner, which is a great album. And then I got, I don't remember the name of the album. It's by Styx. It's something theater. And it's one of my dad's favorite records, and so he got that for me. So that was great. I got some good records, and they play well now. And aside from that, I mean, there were a bunch of nice things that I got. I appreciate that everybody thought of me. I got some soap. I know that sounds boring, but I got good soap. I got goat milk soap. My Nana, she makes it. She has the goat milk. She used to have the goats. She doesn't have the goats anymore, but she gets goat milk, and she makes goat milk soap. And I have been smelling like, what was the one she got me? She made me one that was a pineapple stout scented. So a little bit of that like hopsy kind of smell, I guess, if that's what you would call it. I'm no beer expert. I really don't drink beer that much. But then a little tropically. Smelled very nice. I've been using that for a little while now. If you ever get the chance to use goat milk soap, I recommend it. Makes your skin nice and soft. Skin feels great. Back to the drawing, getting up to the point where I'm at the digital coloration process. This is not the first time that I've done something traditionally with line art and then colored it digitally, but I'd say that this was one of my more happy experiences with it. This was, I guess it was one of the first times I've done it. I've done it before, I just don't exactly remember what for, but I think that I'm pretty happy with the color scheme that came out. One of the main things I wanted was for you to first off notice the man, and then notice the light pole, that thing, secondary. So I wanted it to, and in order to kind of get that kind of metropolis feel that I'm talking about, I made sure that the background was white, or black and white, I guess, like a grayscale kind of thing. And then I made him colorized and made sure that the lightest areas were around that post and on the ground. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science. I mean, lampposts light up, but I'd say I'm just kind of happy with how this one turned out. Because it's one of those times where instead of having happy accidents the whole time, which are also good, I knew what I was doing, and I sat down and I drew it out, and it turned out like I wanted, which can be rare sometimes, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of times where I envision a thing in my head and I think about it really hard, and no matter what I do, I just can't quite make it come to fruition. I don't know. It can be discouraging to do finished pieces because of that. I don't really enjoy finished pieces all that much, though, unless I'm inspired like this, because this was definitely an instance where I had the idea in my mind for a while, and then with the tarot card idea for Christmas kind of came the perfect opportunity to do this. But definitely had the inspiration first on this one. I completely lost my train of thought, whatever it may have been. All that was just to say that I'm happy with how this one turned out. And I don't do finished pieces that often, but I do a lot of sketches. And I think that's what I'm drawn to a lot lately. There's a whole lot of sketches, just doodling, figuring things out, trying out some poses and whatnot. And I think I enjoy that. I don't know if I could say a lot more than finished pieces, because they're kind of apples and oranges, you know? It's kind of different things in a way, but I think that I enjoy it a lot more than finished pieces. And I think a lot of that just comes down to the freedom that's involved with it, because I don't really have to worry about if something doesn't match up as much. I feel free to experiment without worrying about criticizing myself too much, or being like putting myself down because things don't look quite right, you know? It's a sketch. It's a sketch. What does it matter, you know? And it's my sketch. I don't think that I don't really get down on myself when a finished piece doesn't turn out right. I used to a lot, and I think that can be a very destructive behavior if you're telling yourself that you failed, you know? You haven't failed. You just found another way not to do that thing. I just stole that quote from Thomas Edison, I believe. But who knows? Maybe Thomas Edison stole that quote from someone else. So, I mean, who really knows? It was Thomas Edison that invented the light bulb, right? I'm pretty sure it was Thomas Edison. I don't know who else it could have been. Jimmy Lightbulb? Probably Jimmy Lightbulb. I'm going to guess it was Ricky Lightbulb. Ricky J. Lightbulb, inventor of the light bulb. He was born, they named him, and they said, that boy is going to do great things. And he did. He made the light bulb. So guys, there is a possibility that my dear friend Trey and I might be interested in doing some kind of a line of clothing, right? Nothing too crazy. I mean, probably on Teespring or something. Maybe have its own website at some point, but excuse me. We would be interested in doing a line of t-shirt designs and maybe doing a couple different designs and seeing how the first one goes and then kind of trying something else out. So, I mean, if you have any ideas for us, please let us know. We've got a lot of them brewing, but we're still down for suggestions. I think something along the lines of this piece might look kind of nice on a t-shirt, but what do I know? I might be biased. I think I am biased, actually. In fact, I'm definitely biased, but, you know. I don't think I would wear it on a shirt. I don't think I'd feel very comfortable wearing my own art on a t-shirt. It's like walking around with your face printed on the front of your face or something. No, I could think of a better analogy. It's like walking around with... it's like giving a photo of yourself to someone for Christmas, you know? Like my boy Ricky in Better Off Dead. Has anyone seen Better Off Dead? I sincerely hope people have seen Better Off Dead, because it is a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorite movies. You know, I don't know if it's technically fantastic by other people's accounts, but it's one of my favorite movies. And I think that you would enjoy it too. It's got John Cusack. it's a movie that he hates nowadays. I don't know why. I think just because he was young and nobody really likes to look at themselves doing things when they're young, whether it's acting or being in videos or recording your voice or whatever. But, that's the price of putting yourself out there, I guess. Okay. I believe that we're voice crack. I mean, as you can see here, we're kind of getting close to wrapping up. I don't think I have anything else I really needed to discuss. Besides telling everyone hello and asking how they are. Because it has been a minute, It's been too long, if you ask me. I'm just happy to talk to you guys again. We're at that part of the video where I spend forever trying to figure out the color scheme, and I eventually got it to a place where I was semi-happy with it. It was hard, though. And I believe that wraps up another drawing, and with that, I will say goodbye. I'll see you soon. Until next time. That's probably better. Thank you for watching.